My name is Esme. I am 27 years old. I live in a small town near the hills. It is quiet here and I like the slow life. I work in a small office. It is not a big job but I like it. I type, answer emails, and help the manager. Most days feel the same. 3 years ago, Austin joined our office. He was new in town. He sat at the desk near mine. He had brown hair, soft eyes, and a kind smile. On his first day he said hello to me. He asked my name and told me his. His voice was warm. I smiled back and said, "I'm Esme." After that day we talked often. We shared jokes, ate lunch together and sometimes walked after work. I liked his company. He was always polite and gentle. He never made me feel small. When I felt tired, he asked if I was okay. He brought me tea when I looked sad. I started to wait for him each morning. One cold Friday he asked, "Esme, do you want to go for a walk this weekend?" My heart jumped. Said yes. That Sunday we walked by the river. The air was cold but my hands were warm. He told me about his old town and his dog Max. I laughed when he said Max ate his shoes once. After that walk we became close. We met every weekend. We watched movies, ate dinner and talked about many things. Austin never spoke about a girlfriend. I never asked. I thought he was single like me. Felt nice to have someone who listened. One evening after dinner he said, "Esme, I feel happy with you." I looked at him. "I feel the same," I said. He reached for my hand. That was the first time he held it. My face turned red. But I smiled. After that day I thought we were more than friends. I waited for him to call me. I looked at my phone often. He started to message me every morning. "Good morning, Esme." I sent him silly pictures when I cooked. He said, "I miss you," when I worked late. I believed him. But something small started to bother me. Austin never invited me to his home. He said, "It's a mess." I said, "I don't mind," but he still said no. He never stayed long after dinner. He always checked the time. I asked once, "Why are you in a hurry?" He smiled and said, "Just tired." Still I didn't worry. I liked him too much. My friends said, "Are you two a couple now?" I said, "I think so." But I didn't know for sure. We never used that word. One Saturday we went to a small market. He walked close to me and I felt safe. A woman walked by us and looked at Austin. She stared for a moment. Austin looked away fast. I asked, "Do you know her?" He shook his head. "No," he said too quickly. That night he was quiet. I asked, "Is something wrong?" He said, "No, I'm just tired." I believed him. Weeks passed. Things felt strange. Some days he didn't call. Some nights he didn't answer. I waited, holding my phone, hoping to see his name. When he did call, I felt happy again. I didn't ask questions. I was afraid of the answers. Then one rainy evening, I saw him across the street. He was not alone. A woman stood next to him. She held his arm. They were laughing. My heart stopped. I watched from behind a tree. He didn't see me. She looked happy. He looked happy too. My hands felt cold. I walked home fast. I didn't cry yet. I just felt heavy inside. My legs were weak. I sat on my bed and stared at the wall. I wanted to believe it was nothing. Maybe she was his cousin. Maybe it was a joke. But deep down I knew something was wrong. The next day he sent me a message. "Morning, Esme." I didn't reply. He called. I didn't answer. I needed to think. My heart was full of questions. Who was she? Why didn't he tell me? Why did he lie? I went to work the next day. He smiled at me like nothing happened. I smiled back, but it was small and weak. Inside I felt sick. I wanted to scream, "Who is she?" But I said nothing. I just sat at my desk and typed. That evening I sat alone in my room. I looked at his picture on my phone. I touched the screen. Then I turned it off. I needed to know the truth. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I'm sharing my story, hoping they reach someone. Are you there? Are you listening? Just knowing you're here means everything. Before we continue with the story, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the world are you listening from today? Leave a comment below. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more simple and emotional English stories. The next day at work I couldn't focus. My hands shook on the keyboard. My chest felt tight. Every time I looked at Austin, my heart hurt. He laughed with others like nothing was wrong. I wondered, does he think I am stupid? Does he think I will never ask? At lunch, I took my food to the small break room. I sat alone. After a few minutes, Austin came in. He sat across from me and smiled. "You look tired," he said. I didn't smile back. "I saw you," I said, my voice low. "With a woman. On the street." His face changed. For a moment he looked scared. Then he looked down. "Esme," he began. "It's not what you think." I waited. I didn't speak. "She's just someone I knew from my old job," he said. "We met by accident. That's all." I looked at him. His eyes didn't meet mine. I asked, "Do you love her?" He laughed, but it was a strange laugh. "No, of course not. Esme, come on. You're the one I spend time with." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to feel better. But something inside me said, "He's lying." I stood up. "Okay," I said. "I need to get back to work." That night I could not sleep. My bed felt cold. My thoughts were loud. I thought about every small thing. His quick goodbyes. His late replies. His phone always face down. I asked myself, was I blind? Did I miss the signs? 3 days passed. I did not call him. I waited to see what he would do. On the 4th day he sent a message. "I miss you," he wrote. "Let's talk." We met at a small cafe. I wore a warm coat and a scarf. He looked nervous. He smiled, but I did not smile back. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Please, no more games." He looked down at his cup. Then he looked at me. "Esme," he said slowly, "I need to tell you something." My heart beat fast. My hands felt cold. "I'm not single," he said. "I have a girlfriend. We've been together for 5 years. She doesn't live in this town. She lives 2 hours away." I felt like the air left my body. I looked at him. I didn't speak. My eyes felt hot. "I didn't plan this," he said. "I liked you. I still do. But I didn't want to hurt you." "You lied," I said. My voice was shaking. "You let me think we were something real. All this time. I didn't know what to do," he said. "You were kind. You made me feel good." I was confused. Tears filled my eyes. I wiped them quickly. I didn't want to cry in front of him. "So what was I?" "Yes. A game. A break from your real life." He looked down. "No," he whispered. "It was real. Just complicated." I stood up. "Not for me," I said. "It was simple. Liked you. I trusted you." I left the cafe. I walked fast. My heart was heavy. My face was wet with tears. I wanted to scream, but I just kept walking. Home, I sat on the floor. Cried for a long time. My phone buzzed. It was him. I didn't open the message. I turned off my phone. The next few days were hard. I went to work. I saw him every day. But I didn't speak to him. He tried to catch my eye. I looked away. My heart felt broken. One day he came to my desk. "Esme," he said. "Please, can we talk?" I stood up and walked away. Lunch, I sat outside. It was cold, but I didn't care. I needed space. I needed air. A coworker came and sat near me. Her name was Lily. She said, "You look sad. Want to talk?" I looked at her. I felt weak, but I nodded. "Austin lied to me," I said. "He has a girlfriend." I didn't know. Lily looked shocked. "He told me he was single," she said. "He said he was looking for someone new." My mouth opened. "He told you that?" She nodded. "Last year he asked me out." Said no. "He moved on to someone else, I guess." My chest hurt. So I was not the only one. He tried this before. Maybe he always did this. That night I looked in the mirror. My face looked tired. My eyes were red. But something inside me was changing. I told myself, "You are not weak. You are not small." He made the choice to lie. But I can choose too. I wrote one short message to him. "Don't speak to me again." He didn't reply. At work, he didn't come near me. I could feel him watching, but I didn't look. I sat tall. I did my job. Came on time and left on time. Weeks passed. The pain got smaller. Some days it came back. But I was stronger now. Ate with friends. I read books. I took long walks by the river. One Sunday, I sat on a bench and watched the water. The sun touched my face. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. The world was still moving. So could I. Austin was part of my past now. I had no answers from him. But I had answers from myself. I learned something. Love is not just sweet words. It is truth. It is time. It is action. And I deserve all of it. Spring came. The air felt soft again. The trees turned green, and flowers grew near the roads. I started to smile more. I walked to work without heavy steps. I didn't look for Austin anymore. I didn't check my phone for his name. I was free now. One afternoon, Lily and I had coffee at a small shop near the office. She talked about her cat, her sister, and a trip she planned. I listened and laughed. For the first time in months, I felt light. Then she said, "You look better now, Esme." Smiled. "I feel better too." That weekend I cleaned my room. I threw away things I didn't need. Found old pictures on my phone. Some had Austin's face. I stared at one for a moment, then deleted it. I didn't cry. I just felt calm. The next week our boss called for a team meeting. "We have a new staff member," he said. A man walked in. His name was Daniel. He had short dark hair and kind eyes. He smiled at each person in the room. When he looked at me, he gave a small wave. Smiled back. Daniel was smart and quiet. He worked hard and asked good questions. He didn't talk too much, but when he did, people listened. One day he came to my desk and asked for help with a report. I helped him and showed him a few things. He said, "Thanks, Esme. You explain things well." After that we spoke more. Not a lot, just small talks about work or coffee or the weather. But his voice was kind. He looked me in the eyes when he spoke. He never made me feel small. One Friday I saw him walking home. I was behind him. He turned and smiled. "Hey, walking too?" he asked. I said yes, and we walked together. It was a short walk, but it felt nice. As we walked, he said, "You seem quiet, but strong." I looked at him. "You don't even know me," I said. He smiled. "Sometimes you can feel things," he replied. "I can tell you've been through something, but you still show up. That means strength." I didn't know what to say. My eyes felt warm. I said thanks, and that was all. But something inside me moved. Over the next weeks, we walked home a few more times. We talked about food, books, and silly things. I liked his way. He was slow, soft, but sure. One afternoon, I stayed late to finish work. Daniel stayed too. We both worked in silence. At the end, he looked at me and asked, "Do you want to get dinner?" "Just something simple." Said yes. We went to a small place. We both ordered soup and bread. We talked more than usual. I told him I liked quiet places. He told me he played guitar at home. He said he didn't play well. I smiled and said, "You should teach me." That night I laughed a lot. Not the fake kind. Real laughter. My chest felt light. My face felt warm. When we said goodbye, he said, "I had a nice time, Esme." "So did I," said. I walked home with a soft heart. I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to dream too fast. But I felt something. And it was good. A few days later, I saw Austin in the hall. He looked at me. I looked back but didn't stop. He didn't speak. I walked past him like he was no one. And it felt right. Later that day, he sent a message. "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. He sent another. "I made a mistake." I still didn't reply. He walked by my desk the next morning. "Esme," he said softly. "I miss you." I looked up. "You had your chance," I said. "You chose someone else. You lied. I don't need you now." He looked sad. But I didn't care. I turned back to my screen. Daniel came by after lunch. He smiled and asked if I wanted to join him at the park on Sunday. "It's not a date," he said quickly. "Just two people enjoying sunshine." I laughed. "Okay. I like sunshine." On Sunday we sat on a bench. He brought juice and 2 muffins. We watched children play. We didn't talk much. But the silence was not empty. Felt warm. He said, "You know I like this. No noise. No lies. Just real things." I looked at him. Me too. At that moment I knew I was healing. I was not just moving on. I was growing. I was learning to trust again. The next few weeks felt soft and new. The pain in my heart was still there, but it was quiet now. It didn't shout. It didn't stop me from smiling. Daniel and I met often, but we didn't rush. We took slow walks after work. We talked about small things. He asked me about my family. I told him I had 1 sister and 2 nieces. He smiled and said, "I can tell you're a kind aunt." I asked him about his parents. He said, "They live far, but we talk every weekend." I liked how simple he was. He didn't try to be perfect. He was just real. One Thursday evening we met at the park again. The sky was pink and gold. He brought a small radio and we listened to soft music. We sat in silence for a while. Then he turned to me and asked, "Esme, can I ask you something?" I looked at him. "Of course," I said. His voice was soft. "What happened before we met?" I took a deep breath. I looked at the sky. Then I said, I trusted someone. Thought he liked me. I gave him my time, my heart, my care. But he lied. He had a girlfriend. I was just someone on the side. I didn't cry when I said it. My voice didn't shake. I just felt still. Daniel didn't speak for a moment. Then he said, "Thank you for telling me." He looked at me. "You didn't deserve that. You deserve honesty. Always." I felt tears behind my eyes, but I smiled. "That's all I wanted," I said. "Just truth." The next morning I walked to work with a light heart. I saw Austin near the door. He looked at me. I looked back, but I didn't stop. I didn't feel anger now. Felt nothing. And that was the best feeling. I went to my desk and started my work. Later that day I saw a message from him. It said, "I ended things with her. I want to make it right with you." I stared at the message for a minute. Then I deleted it. No reply. No second chances. I remembered the nights I cried. The hours I waited. The lies he told. No kind words could fix that. I had given him my heart once. He broke it. He didn't get it again. That night Daniel called. "Do you want to meet for a walk?" he asked. Said yes. We met near the hill road. The wind was soft. The lights were warm. He said, "You seem quiet." He nodded. "Austin sent a message today." He didn't speak. I added, "He said he wants to fix things." Daniel looked at me. "Do you want that?" I shook my head. "No. Not even a little." He smiled. "Good," he said. "You don't need someone who saw your worth too late." Smiled back. "Exactly." A week later our office had a small party. It was a team event with games and food. People laughed, music played, and for the first time in a long time I danced. Daniel stood near the table, smiling at me. I waved him over. He laughed and joined me. We didn't dance like experts. We just moved, laughed, and enjoyed the moment. Someone took a picture of us. Later I saw it on the office board. We looked happy, free. After the party, Daniel and I walked together. He said, "I haven't danced in years." Smiled. "Me neither." It felt good. He stopped walking. "Esme," he said, "I want to say something." I looked at him. My heart beat a little faster. "You can," I said. He looked nervous. "I like you," he said. "I really do. But I don't want to rush you. I know your heart was hurt before. I don't want to be another mistake." My heart softened. I touched his arm. "You're not a mistake, Daniel. You're the reason I smile again." From that night we were more than friends. We didn't use big words. We didn't say things we didn't mean. We just spent time, shared meals, and talked about our days. And slowly love grew. A soft, honest kind of love. Not fast. Not loud. But strong. One morning I passed Austin in the hallway. He didn't look at me. I didn't feel anything. No anger. No sadness. He was just someone from my past now. And I liked it that way. Summer came. Daniel and I planned a small trip to the lake. We didn't go far. Just 2 days. But it was perfect. We watched the stars, sat by the water, and ate simple food. On the last night he looked at me and said, "I'm glad I met you, Esme." Smiled. "Me too." I didn't need big gifts. I didn't need flowers or poems. I just needed someone who saw me, heard me, and stayed. And Daniel did all of that. One evening we sat in my small kitchen. I cooked pasta. He washed the dishes. We talked about work and funny things. He said, "You know, you laugh with your whole face." I laughed again. Is that a good thing? He said, it's the best thing. That night I looked at him and thought, this is what love should feel like. Not pain, not doubt, just peace, joy. I still remembered Austin. But he was a lesson now, not a wound. He taught me what I don't want. He showed me how strong I can be. Daniel reached across the table and held my hand. Thank you for trusting me, he said. Thank you for not giving up on love. I looked at him and said, thank you for being the right one. My story started with lies. Started with pain. But it didn't end there. I found truth. Found care. Found myself. And I found real love. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Like and comment if you want to hear more soon.